inadequate to a lot of wrestling fans, but again, they need the ratings, and that's what it's all going to come down to. The run of Daniel Bryan will come down to the SmackDown ratings reports and the reviews that the show gets. If the show gets great reviews, Daniel Bryan's reign as SmackDown general manager will not be killed off, and it will definitely be prolonged. And I don't see Daniel Bryan going anywhere anytime soon, because the question on everybody's mind was, when were we going to see Daniel Bryan again? And I thought he was either going to come back as a commentator for Raw or SmackDown, or even NXT. It was either going to be a commentator role, or he was going to be a general manager of a show if, in fact, we did see a brand split. So at least one of my two predictions for Daniel Bryan came true, and who's to say we won't see Daniel Bryan lend a hand at commentary on the headset before his time with wrestling is over and done with, because he has the experience. He's wrestled all over the world for close to 15 years. He's wrestled in Japan, the United States, Canada, all over the world, and in places we don't even know about. So Daniel Bryan obviously had a reputation on the independent circuit. He has that experience that he can apply on the headset. So there's not just one particular role that Daniel Bryan can have. Now, a lot of people are wondering where Jerry the King Lawler is. Obviously, there are a lot of rumors surrounding his status with the company. I can confirm for you that he's now going to be on the pay-per-view panels to discuss follow-ups of pay-per-views and pay-per-view happenings on the network. He's been taken off the headset for the first time in years. This will give Jerry Lawler a break and kind of allow Jerry Lawler to take a step back and slow things down, putting his life into perspective. I think his heart attack from 2012 and that match with Randy Orton had a lot to do with this. But I respect the decision to take Jerry Lawler off the headset for the first time in years, since at least November of 1999 through 2001. And this will allow Jerry Lawler to do something else that will slow his roll down with WWE. So that goes with saying there could be somebody else coming on the headset in time. I'm not really a big fan of David Otunga doing commentary, nor am I Rich Barron. I wish they had a better SmackDown commentary team. Hopefully that will come in with time, which is why I say, even though Daniel Bryan is the SmackDown GM as of now, he could be landing a hand at commentary and his experience, which he could apply to doing commentary with probably a better SmackDown commentary team, which I hope they get. Not a really big fan, too, guys, of them bringing back the WCW broadcast position by putting the Raw broadcast position at the top of the ramp. I hate that. I always hated that when Bischoff used to do that on the old Raw brand extension when he had, him as the general manager, and he would have the commentary team at the top of the stage. I hated that. I hate the idea of the commentary team. The state of the commentary teams are absolutely horrible. On SmackDown, you have Rich Barron, JBL, who's actually one of the best commentators out of the three, and David Otunga. And on Raw, you have Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves, as former NXT champion. Not a really big fan of the commentary teams because, for me, it's not getting it done. So hopefully the GMs, if anything, will make great decisions, and hopefully some of the decisions they will make will apply to the commentary team, especially with how they were wondering where they were going to end up. So there is a lot of room for improvement on SmackDown. Hopefully Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon will get it done. I like the relationship between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan that we've seen thus far. There is a lot of room for improvement with that, because I really don't see the purpose of having either a general manager or a commissioner with how Shane McMahon is running the show one minute, Daniel Bryan maybe running the show the next minute, and how Mick Foley and Stephanie are expected to have a dispute. The purposes of the commissioners and GMs, to me, have been defeated. There should be one sole individual in charge of the show. If it was going to be left up to Shane or Stephanie, it should have went that way. And if it was going to be left up to a general manager in the way of Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan, with the general managers changing up from time to time, it should have went that way. Not really a big fan of the commissioners and general managers, but I will say this. I really appreciate the relationship that we have seen between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. They have this connection with the fans that I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon, and I think that everybody is getting in to the Yes Movement, and the Yes Movement probably have picked up more fans than they ever had before. Everybody is getting in on the conversation, which seems to be at an all-time high on social media, especially on Instagram, of Daniel Bryan being the SmackDown general manager. Everybody a fan of this, seemingly. I was always a fan of Daniel Bryan ever since I followed his career when he was being trained by Shawn Michaels on the Independents. I always took time out to watch Daniel Bryan footage on the internet. I was always a big fan of him, just as I was Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. And to see them finally end up on WWE, I think a promising future is ahead for all of them. Even Sami Zayn has a promising future, and I will go on record for saying that Sami Zayn will be the next Cruiserweight champion. There is a lot to be done with someone like Sami Zayn, and there is promising times ahead for professional wrestling, and it all goes back to the selections of general managers of Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan. There was expected to be a feud also between the two GMs, Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan, obviously, his wrestling history has been talked about a lot. They have looked at a lot of Daniel Bryan classic matches on the network as of late, and there was expected to be a feud between Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan, even more so because Mick Foley also was a wrestler, and Mick Foley also has had a hand at being commissioner and general manager of the past. So we could be seeing a feud between Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan. If this is going to go all the way of having a feud, you would expect to see a match between Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan rather than a team being represented by Daniel Bryan and a team being represented by Mick Foley. For an event like Survivor Series, for Raw versus SmackDown, even more so if they bring back the bragging rights pay-per-view. Not too big of a fan of having 2 pay-per-views a month now. SmackDown going first in September with Backlash, and Raw is expected to go next with a pay-per-view yet to be announced. Not really a big fan of those. They worked 10 years ago. Will they work 10 years later? I don't know. There's still a lot of room for improvement and a lot of questions that have yet to be answered, but that does not mean that we will not get answers to the futures of both brands and even the future of NXT, which is still up in the air. They're going to be touring all throughout the fall of 2016, taking us up to the end of the calendar year of 2016. So there's a lot of promising things expected to happen. Perhaps NXT firing back at WWE just to get noticed as if they already haven't had enough attention over the last number of months. They've gotten more attention than they ever have with all these superstars coming in the fallout of things like WrestleMania and the 2016 brand extension, which has a lot of promise with it. Maybe not as big of a fan of this year's brand extension as I was 14, 15 years ago because you had the names on the rosters, but the general managers, in my opinion, I hope they can get it done. Although it remains to be seen, we cannot go on without recognizing the potential that goes with people like Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Daniel Bryan, and Mick Foley in charge and within power of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for the first time in years. I'm expecting SmackDown to put out high ratings for the first time since at least 04 through 06, and I think there are a lot of great things yet to happen for both brands, especially SmackDown Live, with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan calling the shots, who you cannot help but appreciate the friendship between. They have a connection with the fans that I don't see going anywhere anytime soon. And if you have a thought on Daniel Bryan being named your SmackDown Live general manager, you can by all means get in on the conversation and let me know what that thought is. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke. Thank you so much for spending so much of your weekend, your Sunday evening with me, and I will talk to you again next week.
Like what you hear? Tell us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then your talking don't matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets. We take the dollar, dollar, can a damn soul stop it. Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold on your bets, here's where the buck stops. See, first of all, I'm stepping out on my own. About time I elevated to claim my own throne. Success in my blood, call it homegrown. Puerto Rican testosterone. Power and money got me crazy cocky. No longer need you, poppy. I know you're mad because you can't stop me. And if you wonder how this player done scooped your honey, I think she smell my cologne, it's called brand new money. Making major moves, man, ain't a damn thing funny. Pimpin' hood rats to Playboy bunnies. They see the money, 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 money. They see it, they see it. Money, 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 money. Say what, say what, say what? Money. I'm global dollar, dollar, and roll with about 50. Like to go out smelling fresh and looking spiffy. Don't like clean money, I want my wrist to be filthy. Pops with that retirement fund, I can't touch till I'm 60. So what am I supposed to do? Rollin' through, steady patting them pockets, sell I'm stacking holding two. Ching ching bling bling, catching cash in lump. It's a Coro, get a jacket, I'm selling them out my trunk. Whenever, whatever, it takes to shake down a dollar. Moto in that direction, wait a minute, holla holla. All wants to know where they go, where they winning. A mink and Marshall Monday, smelling just like a mint. Money, 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 money. If you can't see the money, get your eyes clean with Visine. I need 5 things plus 7 digits at a time. See my children chillin'. The best never works. See, we never get the pebbles, they got the rocks first. Bank vaults, I'm locking. Ching ching, we're mocking. I'm rocking. My family Christmas stockings are shocking. Fine women any weather. Naughty denim and leather. Call it trickin', whatever, son, they get better. I'm one smart cookie, the vet that smacks rookies. My stock's on top, your checks bounce while mine's boogie. Wrist, I must rock it. Chick, stop it, I knock it. Cash looks like I got a gang of fists in my pockets. Fist in my pockets. Fist in my pockets.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Don't go anywhere. HEW Entertainment Radio will return with the latest news, music, interviews, discussion, and Jonathan Clarke next.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
He considers himself